Boston College transfer Rakim Sanders leads the fourth-seeded Fairfield Stags into the MAAC semifinal round, where today they will try to knock off the regular season champs from Iona College and first-team All-Star Mike Glover. It's the Gales against the Stags next. Welcome to the 2012 MAAC Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. In the first of our two semifinals here this afternoon, it's the Fairfield Stags against the Iona Gales. And for these two teams, the chance to reach tomorrow night's final. A 7 o'clock tip tomorrow with a shot at going to the NCAA tournament. And welcome everybody to the Mass Mutual Center here in Springfield, Massachusetts, along with former Division I assistant coach Rob Kennedy. I'm Doug Sherman, and this first semifinal is going to be a battle of wills. Iona's got the best offense in the league. Fairfield has the league's best defense.
And certainly Iona coming in, they're the team to beat, the regular season champ. But if you're going to beat them, I think you got to slow them down. And I think no team maybe in the league is built to slow them down better than Fairfield because of their personnel as well as their style of play.
Okay, let's take a look at our Blue Rock Energy one-on-one, the big storyline for this first semifinal.
Well, first, Rakim Sanders has to have a big game as they're going to be playing tomorrow in the championship game. First team All-MAAC, and in the quarterfinals, he was their leader as he has been the last 3 games with 15 points. On the other side, Mike Glover, he had focus and determination right from the get-go, and their quarterfinal win against Marist, 29 points and was dominant inside, 8 of 10 from the field in that second half.
Today's starting lineup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Energize your day with Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. It's double brewed and made the way you like it. Desmond Wade, Colin Nickerson, Rakim Sanders, Maurice Barrow, and Ryan Olander, the starting 5 for the Stags. And for Iona, Scott Machado, who leads the nation in assists, Lamont Momo Jones, Sean Armand, Taj Ridley, and Mike Glover. Here's a look at our coaching matchup brought to you by Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, and that is the back of Sidney Johnson, who has done a nice job in his first year as head coach of Fairfield after spending the last 4 coaching his alma mater at Princeton. And Tim Flusen, year number 2, a 1983 Hofstra graduate who also played college basketball at St. John's for Lou Carnesecca before transferring to Hofstra. In his first job as a Division I head coach, he has done a marvelous job so far, winning a regular season title this year at Iona. Our keys to the game brought to you by American Red Cross.
Well, it's going to be about pace, and if Fairfield wants to slow this game down, they got to do 2 things. They've got to run efficient offense, force Iona to guard you throughout the 35-second clock, and then you can't have live turnovers. You can't allow the Gales to get out on the break. For Iona, they want to get out on the break, speed the game up however they can. They're going to extend their defense to try and get it to the pace they want. And then if you want to run, Doug, you got to rebound the basketball. They cannot allow Fairfield extra opportunities on the offensive boards.
Well, this Fairfield team comes in with an overall record of 18-13. They're the number 4 seed in this tournament. But they will play the role of underdog, especially without their floor general, Derek Needham, one of the tri-captains, junior point guard from Dolton, Illinois, out with an injury to his foot that has cost him the rest of the season. But still without him, they played very well in the quarterfinals yesterday to get to this point. Gene Steratore, Joe DeMeo, Wally Witecki are 3 officials for this first MAAC semifinal, with the winner going on to tomorrow night's championship game, and we are underway here in Springfield, Massachusetts. So Desmond Wade runs the point, as he has done 25 times this year, made 25 starts. So it's not like without Needham, Fairfield doesn't have options to run the team. Ryan Olander connects.
And that is one of their options. Olander, quiet game in the first round with just 7 points before fouling out. Much like they need Sanders to have a big game, Olander's got to step up and score the basketball inside.
The nation's highest scoring team, Iona, with a basketball for the first time here this afternoon. Here's Machado, guarded by Nickerson. That is a classic matchup of offense versus defense.
And Nickerson's length can bother Machado, especially once he gets himself to the rim.
Mike Glover coming off a 29-point show against Marist yesterday with his first 2 here today.
And as we said, he had energy, focus right from the start. I asked Tim Cruz earlier today how he thought Mike played. He said, well, if he plays like that every game, I'm going to be a happy man.
There's Olander trying again, and he was fouled by Taj Ridley. Well, this Iona team was picked in the preseason coaches poll as the favorite to win the MAAC, and that's exactly how it's turned out. And they have won their last 6 ball games, hoping to steamroll that momentum all the way into the NCAA tournament. And pretty much everybody who projects around the nation certainly says this is the team that will represent the MAAC in the big dance.
Yeah, and certainly Joe Lunardi in the latest bracketology had him as a 13 seed.
But they are facing a stiff challenge here this afternoon. Fairfield was picked number 2 in the preseason poll, and even though they're the number 4 seed, which tells you that perhaps they underachieved just a bit, there were a lot of moving parts that had to come together, and Sidney Johnson was able to do that as January turned to February, turned to March.
Remember, they went into the last weekend with an opportunity to win the regular season. We're up by 8 when Needham got hurt against these same Iona Gales, and we're looking really good in the first 8 minutes of that ball game.
Desmond Wade, the best 3-point threat for the Stags, misfires on his first attempt. Here goes Machado. Eyes always surveying the court, and now he backs it out.
Well, his head is on his swivel. Not only great court vision, but he's always looking around trying to figure out who's on either side of him.
Lamont Momo Jones spins to the hoop for 2.
You start worrying about Machado and Glover, and then Momo Jones, an accomplished scorer himself, at 16 a game.
Nickerson breaks the Iona pressure. We're tied at 4. Just over 2 minutes gone here at the Mass Mutual Center. Rakim Sanders rattles home his first shot attempt.
Now, he was just 1 of 4 from beyond the 3-point line the other day and missed a lot right at the rim. But if he can stretch the defense and force those tough matchups by taking guys out to the perimeter, that bodes well for Fairfield.
Oh, you know, Iona's had no answer for Rakim Sanders in their 2 regular season meetings. He averaged 23 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, and at halftime of the last meeting, he already had a double-double when they went to the locker room after the first 20 minutes.
Mike Glover with 4 quick points. Iona back within 1 at 7-6. Maurice Barrow, another mid-range shot.
Well, they've got the ball to the high post against. I see a warning from Joe DeMeo to let the ball come through the net. That's why the stoppage in play. But Sidney Johnson's team has been able to get the ball to the high post against the zone offense a couple of times. As you mentioned, Olander hit a foul line jumper earlier, and Barrow that time from the same spot.
Armand, the 3-point specialist for the Gales, who leads the MAAC in shooting percentage from beyond the arc. Machado's not bad himself.
Yeah, you used to be able to hide behind and slide behind that high ball screen against Machado. Not so this year. A couple of years ago, you would slide behind so he couldn't drive the basketball. You got to respect this 3-point shot now. 39% on the season coming in.
With Barrow again at the high post. He has to pull it back out to Nickerson. Sanders is a bull on the low post.
And that's where he really can punish people. You talk about point guards, power forwards. He's the combination of the two. He's a power guard.
Former ACC standout at Boston College. Momo Jones, the former standout with the Arizona Wildcats, has 4 quick points.
And taking advantage of his size against the smaller Wade.
And so we're tied again at 11 apiece. Just over 4 minutes in. Desmond Wade lobs it in, and Nickerson had his feet taken out from underneath him. Taj Ridley picks up the foul. Good start to our first semifinal. Tied at 11. The winner will move on to tomorrow night's MAAC championship game.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying?
0!
How much Pepsi tastes?
A lot!
Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference has provided thrills and excitement to college basketball fans for over 30 years. Now you can get an inside look at the league schools and its student athletes by visiting the MAAC Experience at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Check out the MAAC's rich history and be sure to take in the featured video, A Day in the Life of a MAAC Student Athlete. Don't miss the MAAC Experience at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For more information, visit hoophall.com.
Anaconda Sports, your sports authority, proudly supporting local high school athletes throughout the region. We want to thank all the teams and coaches that have made Anaconda the #1 dealer in the Northeast. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever your sport, Anaconda has what you're looking for. From the latest gear and team uniforms to logo shirts and hats for your company. Make Anaconda your connection.
Hey, if you want to go for sports equipment, go to Anaconda Sports. It's awesome, baby.
The Pepsi Max National MAAC Game of the Week is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Blue Rock Energy. Blue Rock Energy saves you money on electricity and natural gas. Blue Rock Energy, putting people in power. The American Red Cross, encouraging you to do something that means something. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. See how much you could save when you visit geico.com. Back in Springfield, Mass, with a 11-11 tie between Fairfield and Iona in our first MAAC semifinal. The MAAC now has apps for your iPhone, iPad, and Android. The app delivers instant updates, including MAAC news, scores, standings, and videos straight to your mobile device. Visit macsports.com/mobile for more information. Oh, what do you think about the pace and the tempo so far, Rob Kennedy?
Well, quick pace, and both teams playing well on the offensive end. Both teams shooting it lights out. 4 of 5 from the field for Fairfield. On the other side, 5 of 6 from the floor for Iona.
Well, in their 2 regular season meetings, both won by Iona, the Gales shot 50% or better in both, and that is certainly their formula to win.
Yeah, and they've done it all season long. On the season, shooting the ball at over 50% on the season. You don't see that from a college basketball team very often, especially from a team that takes threes. Every once in a while, if a team is dedicated to just pound the basketball inside, but they average nearly 8 threes per game. They just shoot it at such an efficient rate.
Randy DeZouvre into the ball game, poked the ball away. Momo Jones missed on the run. There is Glover, and that is why they shoot such a good percentage. He is 3rd in the country at 65%.
And both he and Jones have really brought energy right from the start of the game. And you see their full court pressure. It has had energy. And one of the ways that Tim Cluse wanted to try to create pace in this ball game was to get up in the full court pressure.
And those are power conference talents. You know, we talked about Momo Jones at Arizona last year going to the Elite 8. Mike Glover was a big recruit. Started his career at Seton Hall. His older brother, Anthony, played at St. John's. So these are big-time players, and if Machado were to go through the recruiting process again that he went through a few years ago, you could guarantee that he would have his pick of schools around the country.
No question. And a guy who's going to have the opportunity to play at the next level. We'll end up hearing his name called in the NBA draft in June.
There's Jones again. Left it short that time. Tough to get up and over the 7-footer Ryan Olander. Sanders with 5 early points for the Stags. Tough guard for DeZouvre, who picks up the foul. Well, we saw him rattle home a 3 earlier from that exact same spot, and we also then saw him power his way to the basket. So if you're on that island and you're Randy DeZouvre, what do you do?
That's a tough guard if you're Randy, because he can take you inside or punish you outside. And that's the type of players that Sidney Johnson wants. He wants guys who are multi-skilled on the offensive end, and that's really where they missed Derek Needham on the offensive end. Another guy that you've got to worry about defensively to create both spacing and opportunities for his teammates.
Machado already with 3 assists. And the Gales on top by 2. Here's that MAAC leading defense on display of the Fairfield Stags. DeZouvre spotting up. Left it short, pulled down by Barrow.
But how about the smallest guy on the floor, Des Wade, hanging in there to keep that defensive rebound alive.
Here's Olander, a full head taller and then some than any other Gale on the floor. DeZouvre the last to touch. So Fairfield will have it with 22 on the shot clock. Randy DeZouvre is a senior from Montreal, 6'5", 210 pounds. And for an Iona team that is height challenged, he plays a big role. He and Taj Ridley to try and play the power forward position. Under 10 now to shoot. Nickerson's going to have to think about it. Then he gives it back to Wade. Step back shot. Rims out. And here comes Sean Armand of the Gales. Glover. Wow. Sheds himself at the defender, but then missed the bunny. Wade went down hard, and it's all white shirts. DeZouvre.
Well, Sidney Johnson talked about the fact their conversion rate of turnovers at the other end. He said it's like an NBA team, so you can't have those live turnovers. You're better off if Desmond Wade comes down with the ball and travels instead of just leaving it out there to allow them to get out on the break.
Well, Mike Glover, 6'7", 215-pound senior from the Bronx with 6 early points for Iona.
And much like he had yesterday, he has that eye of the tiger, a little focus, a little energy, attacking the basket. He's making every trip up and down the floor, and when he gets himself in isolations on the post, he's really hard to guard, and that's one of the things that Fairfield does not do a lot. Keeping the basketball alive here. They don't like to double, but when he gets himself on a roll, you may have to start thinking about it if you're Sidney Johnson.
Well, he's a two-time first-team all-conference player. He's only been in the league 2 years. He was on the Wooden Award preseason watch list, top 50 players, Naismith Player of the Year watch list. And you can see that he has delivered the goods again this year in the MAAC.
You see those 65% from the field, third best in the country. In a career 63% field goal shooter. Behind the legendary Jeff Ruland at 64%, so he's number 2 in the Iona record books as far as converting field goals.
And again, he's listed at 6'7", not that tall probably, so he's doing his work on the post at such an efficient rate despite giving up 2, 3, 4 inches most every time.
Oh, he's so powerful.
Yeah.
And, you know, he can go at guys, and you talk about some guys who play bigger than they are. He plays way bigger because he's so explosive.
So the Stags give it back to the Gales, who lead it by 4. And see Jamel Fields come into the game. He's played well lately, 9 points in each of the last 2 Fairfield games off the bench.
And Iona's doubles into the post have bothered Fairfield. We've seen at least 2 turnovers forced by those doubles inside.
Jones navigates his way to the basket and lays it in this time up and over the 7-footer.
Yeah, went right at the big guy, Olander, who's a good shot blocker at 2 block shots per game, but that's how you neutralize the bigger player, go right at him.
It's an 8-0 Iona run.
They can string together runs, especially when they can get some stops at the defensive end. Their defense has been good here so far today.
Olander tries to break the run and does.
And he can do that. Even at 7 foot, good outside shooter, 40% on the season from 3.
Jones has his pocket picked. Here come the Stags. Sanders give it off to Fields, and he lays it in.
Well, nice job by Sanders as well by Wade to give the basketball up. Don't think about Princeton offense. Some people think it's about running plays. It's not. It's about offensive concepts that all start with sharing the basketball and getting good shot opportunities for your best player. Machado showing you his range on that deep 3. May have been an NBA 3. Part of his game, he's going to have to show the NBA scouts that he's got.
The NBA scouts, as always, are here watching Iona and watching the man with the basketball. Glover is hammered by Fields. Let's see if it was before the shot or in the act of shooting. Well, we'll hear from Sidney Johnson when we come back. The head coach of the Fairfield Stags. His club is down 20-16.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Dunkin' Ice.
Biggest iced coffee I can get.
Iced coffee helps me keep up. I love iced coffee.
Drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
An iced iced coffee.
I run on Dunkin' Iced Coffee.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
Everyone here at Iona College has a great spirit of enthusiasm as students start to see our facilities and speak to our faculty. They realize this college gives our students a great opportunity to learn more about themselves and go on to fantastic careers in whatever field they choose.
The first thing that strikes you when you arrive at campus is the beautiful buildings and grounds. But above all, Iona focuses on students and student success. And Iona is an institution that changes lives.
Hey, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Dunkin' coffee. Black, straight up. Extra cream, 3 sugars.
French vanilla. Iced coffee for me.
Iced coffee with a turbo shot.
I'm drinking Dunkin'. I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
Welcome back to the Mass Mutual Center. I'm here with Coach Johnson of Fairfield. Coach, are you pleased with the pace so far?
Well, I'm pleased in terms of how we're going about our business on offense. I just think defensively we've got to hustle back because they're pretty good in transition too.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way. Back to you, Rob.
Oh, and certainly Sidney Johnson, you heard him talk about the fact he's not as concerned about pace, especially early in the game, but he wants to make sure that they don't turn it over to allow Iona to get out and run in transition. So it's not necessarily about how many points are scored, but how they're scored by Iona.
Well, MAAC fans, Springfield may be closer than you think. The Mass Mutual Center here in Springfield is only about 90 minutes from Albany, about 2 hours from New York City, and 2.5 hours from Poughkeepsie. You can still get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. This is the first of our 2 men's semifinals this afternoon, and then the men's championship is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The women's title game will pit Marist against Fairfield at noon tomorrow. The game can be seen on ESPNU. The men's game tomorrow night on ESPN2. But there's nothing like being here, and we've had good atmosphere so far. And so Mike Glover at the free throw line for Iona. As we heard from Sidney Johnson, the only man to be a 3-time captain for Pete Carrill at Princeton.
Yeah, former Ivy League Player of the Year, went on to have a professional playing career overseas. Did a great job of bringing that Princeton program back. Got them to the NCAA tournament last year when they put a tremendous scare into the Kentucky Wildcats. Their Final Four run was almost cut short in the first round. Had to survive with the 2-point win against Princeton.
Wade, Fields, Matthews now with the basketball into the game. Sanders and Olander, the 5 on the floor for the Stags in red. The number 4 seed taking on the regular season champs from Iona, who have Jermel Jenkins now off the bench.
Much different if you double in and it's Derek Needham standing there on a kick out. It's a good look from 3.
Nice job by Keith Matthews to go right at Mike Glover, who was whistled for the foul. First on Glover and the 4th against Iona. Fairfield's been whistled for just 1 foul so far here in the first half. And there's the injured foot, Derek Needham. 3-time all-conference guard, but done for the year.
We saw how much they missed him yesterday offensively against Ryder. Ryder in that zone defense able to completely collapse inside against Rakim Sanders. If Needham's on the floor, you put him on the side where Needham is, and now all of a sudden you get more spacing because guys got to come out and respect his 3-point shot. Over 200 threes made in his career.
Let's see if everybody's okay. That was Jamel Fields, who took out somebody on the Iona bench. But everybody appears to be smiling over there, so I guess everybody's okay. But that is the way Fairfield plays, and that's the kind of energy they expect to get from a Jamel Fields coming off the bench, or Colin Nickerson, or whoever they have on the floor in the backcourt to try and make it tough on Scott Machado and company. There is Machado getting fouled by Fields.
Machado's got terrific upper body strength. Always plays with 2 feet on the floor. Fights through a little contact. That's a ticky-tack foul at best. But Scott always jump stops, got 2 feet on the floor. He's got great balance and good upper body strength.
Second personal foul on Fields. The only 2 fouls against Fairfield so far. So he goes out. Nickerson comes back in. Kyle Smythe in for the first time for Iona, replacing Armand.
Scott Machado has absolutely filled the stat sheet. You see over 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and over 850 assists. And with our crack staff, Andy Brill, doing his research, we think he's the only player in college basketball history to put up those numbers like that.
And he leads the nation in assists per game at 10. And no college player since the mid-90s has averaged double-figure assists for an entire season.
And if you think about it, trying to become just the 5th player in NCAA history. Now remember, they didn't keep assist stats until into the 80s, so it's a little bit different, but you get the sense that here's a guy who has meant as much to a college basketball program as anybody. We've seen him have a triple-double earlier this season, can do a whole lot of everything.
Now, he spent his first couple of years at Iona playing for Kevin Willard, now at Seton Hall, a much different style and pace than what Tim Cluse brought from CW Post. And you think about how many assists he would have if he had played for Tim Cluse for 4 years.
That's a good point. Now, with that pace and out in the open floor, you're right. There's so many more opportunities because of so many more possessions.
Mike Glover now with 2 personal fouls, certainly something to keep an eye on. And if Fairfield's smart, which I'm sure they are, they're run by an Ivy League man. They're going to try to go right at Mike Glover again. There's Olander shooting over top of Glover. Sanders on the putback.
But by Olander coming out to the perimeter and taking Glover with him, it gives him some better rebounding opportunities inside for the likes of Sanders. So if you take Glover out of the paint, it opens up some opportunities for Sanders to take advantage of his size.
And Glover averaging 9 rebounds per game. He's blocked by Nickerson. Sanders, wave off the basket. He says the help defender was standing in the arc, but Joe DeMeo says, no, the foul is on you, young man.
Well, Sanders with a good touch goes right at the basket. Machado's there.
Joe DeMeo is right.
Yep. Outside of the arc.
And it's the white arc.
Looks like he's sliding over, though. He's clearly outside the arc, but the question is whether or not Machado was sliding over and underneath him.
And we should correct an earlier foul that they said was on Glover. Not number 1, but 10 is who it was given to. So Jermel Jenkins gets his first. Glover still has just 1. Here goes Machado, hanging in the air, gets his own miss, but no, Matthews took it away.
And making it difficult for him to score at the rim.
Smythe with a near steal. Stags keep possession, down by 3. Only 9 minutes remaining in the half. Fairfield got here by winning its quarterfinal game, hard-fought game against Ryder yesterday, 65-63. Inside out they go. Des Wade to Matthews. Another strong move along the baseline.
Yeah, great patience by Desmond Wade not to force it. He wasn't comfortable on the kick out with his catch. Instead, probing to find a better shot.
Iona with a 1-point lead in the basketball. Zouvré to Glover. He spins through the defenders. Nickerson tips it out. Smythe after it. Jenkins with the no-look, and Zouvré able to finish.
Yeah, nice job by Jenkins to get the defender with the look-off going to his left. And that allowed him to dump it inside to Zouvré on the right block.
Under 8 minutes remaining first half. Iona's lead back to 3.
Giving it a different look now with the 1-3-1 in the zone. They mix it up between 2-3 zone. They match out of it. They'll play some man-to-man, and they'll also play some 1-3-1. One thing they've consistently done, no matter what the defense has been, is run the double when the basketball goes into the post. Shot clock down to 5. Nickerson spotting up. That's a 3. And we're tied at 24. And just the 6th 3 on the season for Colin Nickerson. So Fairfield will take that.
Now the folks who made the trip from Southern Connecticut are very happy about their 4th-seeded Stags pushing Iona here late in the first half.
And now the pace has settled back into, I think, where Fairfield's more comfortable, but there's Scott Machado with another 3.
Well, Machado, the first to double figures with 11. He's a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc so far. And again, now he shoots it better than 40% on the year. Nickerson, not so much, but if you're open and you're feeling it, let it fly.
The same exact spot as well, right over in the deep left corner.
Meanwhile, Momo Jones sits at the scores table as he has been for about 3 minutes, unable to get back into the game because of no stoppages.
Good defense by Nickerson to not allow the dribble handoff with Machado.
Machado left his feet, couldn't find anybody, and here comes Fairfield. Desmond Wade dropping it for Nickerson.
Well, Nickerson doing it at both ends of the floor. His size bothers Machado when he tries to go finish at the rim, and also doing it offensively.
Kyle Smythe has it rattle off. Fairfield with the momentum. Sanders steps into the 3. Machado, can he go 4 for 4? Indeed he does.
And that's why you can't take those quick shots at the other end. Iona, we saw it yesterday. Every time that Maris took a quick bad shot at the other end, they made him pay. Most of the time it was Glover scoring it inside. That time Machado again finding the mark from beyond the 3-point line.
So the Gales are back on top. Fairfield with the ball where Nickerson has scored the Stags' last 8 points. Sanders drop it off Matthews. Left it short, but he just keeps working.
And got himself a good opportunity by the play by Sanders.
Machado nearly gets his pocket picked. And then the foul is called against Fairfield. Timeout on the floor. Randy DeZouvre and the Iona Gales have their hands full. Fairfield, the number 4 seed, enjoys a 1-point lead over the regular season champs from New Rochelle, New York.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best, while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history, where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with a focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
I am Sienna.
I am Sienna.
I am Sienna. I am Sienna.
I am Sienna.
Sienna College offers an exceptional private education with a unique foundation of liberal arts, career preparation, and Franciscan values.
That's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Are you telling me we can't do this?
I got this, Coach.
You know, people said, Pepsi Max? You can't get maximum Pepsi taste with 0 calories.
Who said that?
But Pepsi Max didn't listen.
We just delivered it. So get out there and taste that sweet 0-calorie victory.
The little guy's right.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Do you validate parking?
Welcome back to Springfield, Mass, where the Fairfield Stags have a 1-point lead over the Iona Gales, 31-30. Final 5 minutes of the first half with the winner advancing to tomorrow night's MAAC title game. Scott Machado is the player of the year in the conference and shooting the basketball just like that award would say so far here today.
And making guys pay if you don't respect his three-point shot. You see right there at the NBA line, foot on the NBA line. He really worked on his three-point shooting in the offseason. And for those NBA scouts in attendance today, putting on a show from beyond the three-point line, 4 for 4 in those 4 threes. Matches season high.
And his career high is 6 made threes in a single game, so certainly well on his way. But his MO is the assist. He's got 3 of those so far here this afternoon, but he is multidimensional, averaging over 13 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, nearly 2 steals per game, shooting better than 40% from beyond the arc and better than 80% at the line. It's no wonder he was the runaway winner of Conference Player of the Year. Machado behind the back to Rashad James, who's just checked in for the first time for Iona.
And a battle inside. Barrow trying to hold on for defensive positioning against Glover. Held on a little too much.
Well, Barrow, 6'5", 210-pound sophomore from Christ the King High School in New York City. He doesn't have to back down physically from too many folks. But Mike Glover is a man. He is a fifth-year senior who has the strength of 2 men on that low post. Now Matthews takes his turn. And he blocks the Glover shot.
And I think that's one of the keys. I think you've got to run different defenders at him.
Now Sanders, the Fairfield Bull. He's able to convert. And the Stags back up by 3.
And nice entry into the post on the bounce pass by Wade.
Into Glover they go. Easy finish that time.
Well, that time Matthews gambled on the feed in. You got to body him up, but then once he makes the catch, you got to make sure that you're not going to try and steal that. The gamble allows the wide open finish for Glover.
Barrow back out to Nickerson, who has been feeling it. Where'd that come from? That's his third three-pointer already today.
And again, came in with 5 on the entire season. You know, so every once in a while in tournament play, you get somebody to step up and play well beyond what you think they're capable of.
James connects. Well, we certainly saw what you're talking about in last night's fourth quarter final when Siena's Owen Wignall had the game of his career. A senior trying to keep his season alive, did just that. Hit the tying 3 with 8 seconds to go in regulation and helped him win in overtime. Rakim Sanders bringing it for Fairfield.
And if Machado's guarding him in the post, that's not the matchup Iona wants.
Off the bench, once again, it's Rashad James.
A guy who had 3 threes on the entire season coming in. So, you know, scouting report says don't worry about him at 3. Why would you? If you hit 3 threes in a 30-game season.
Machado the takeaway. He's got Momo Jones if he wants him. Doesn't go that way. Here's Armand, left alone. That's the transition offense Iona works on day and night.
And you saw as soon as he threw it out to Armand, Scott Machado was running back with his 3 in the air because he knows if you get an open look like that's why you can't turn the basketball over against Iona. Their conversion rate, as Sidney Johnson said, is like an NBA team.
Well, they average over 83 points per game, but there's Colin Nickerson again. Already his season high with 14 points. Nickerson's career high is 20.
Armand got another open look in transition. When you're running back, your natural habit is to get into the paint. Well, if you're guarding a guy like Armand, you can't worry about getting into the paint. You got to go find him out at the 3-point line.
Nickerson's better known for his defense. Rashad James, who's come off and scored 5 quick points, is better known for his ability to do 360 reverse slam dunks. I mean, he is incredible going above the rim. Here he is trying to stick with Rakim Sanders, who turns it over, and here come the Gales again. Machado right around Wade. $1:15 remaining in the first half of what's been a Highly entertaining first half of basketball in semifinal number 1 here in Springfield, Massachusetts. They see the Stags shooting 70%.
Iona at 57%.
Armand called for the foul. Well, defense has just been a rumor so far here this afternoon, but a little bit played by Matthews, trying to keep Mike Glover from going off. Got ourselves a 40-40 tie. The winner of this one moves on to tomorrow night's conference championship game. The winner of our first semifinal between Fairfield and Iona will meet the winner of our second semi tomorrow night. Our next game will be Loyola against Siena. MAAC fans, the 2012 MAAC Women's Lacrosse Championship heads to Canisius College in Buffalo from April 27th through the 29th. You can purchase tickets today on maac.ticketleague.com. Final minute of the first half here in Springfield, Mass. Colin Nickerson has been the hot hand for Fairfield with 13 points to lead the Stags. Scott Machado has 14 points atop the Iona scoring list. Olander from deep. Sanders tips to himself. And then left it under the rim, but Fairfield just keeps on working.
And second time Sanders was able to get an offensive rebound on one of those deep misses by Olander. Again, you got Mike Glover trying to guard Olander out at the three-point line. You don't have the defensive rebounder inside at the rim to handle Sanders.
Nickerson, Wade, Barrow, Olander, and Sanders on the floor for the Stags. About 6 seconds difference between the game and shot clocks. Shot clock now down to 6, and here goes Nickerson with the step-back jumper. Seeing the whole repertoire, and Sanders is whistled for the over-the-back foul.
Well, those are the fouls as the coach will take. Sanders being aggressive at the offensive end. It's his second foul, so expect him to come out, sit down protected.
And only the 6th team foul. Both teams with only 6. It's been a very quickly played first half.
We almost got to the end of the half without getting our 4-minute TV timeout called. I mean, it's had a good flow to it, especially after our 4th game last night. A lot of people around here happy about that, including you and I.
Highly entertaining so far here this afternoon. Machado on a mismatch goes right around Olander. Smartly finishes with the left hand.
You got to be able to shield off the defender as he was able to finish with the left.
A big first half for the 2012 MAAC Player of the Year, Scott Machado, with a game-high 16 points. That along with 5 assists, and this final bucket puts his Gales on top by 2. We'll be back with the MAAC halftime report right after this. We are at the half here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Iona shooting 59%, Fairfield shooting 62%. Welcome everybody back to the Mass Mutual Center. Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy, and certainly a fun first half of basketball.
Well, and certainly you saw from Iona what they can do when they can get out in transition. Fairfield, they shot the ball extremely well. They got to be careful, though, if this pace continues in the second half.
Well, Scott Machado, as expected, is leading the way for Iona, but surprisingly for Fairfield, it's Colin Nickerson.
Well, you never know when the opportunity's going to come. He certainly didn't want that opportunity to come with the injury to his fellow teammate, Derek Needham. But, you know, you see it. Insanity wouldn't have happened if the opportunity didn't present itself. And if Jeremy Lin didn't take advantage of that opportunity, you're seeing a little Colin Nickerson insanity with him stepping up. I guarantee you the scouting report was not focused on Colin Nickerson heading into the ballgame, but I can guarantee you in the locker room they're talking about him.
Well, Nickerson hit his first 5 shots, missed his last shot, but he has 13 points to lead the way.
And that 13's a season high, and including a couple of threes. You know, all of a sudden, with the opportunity, took full advantage of it.
Meanwhile, Scott Machado, better known for setting up his teammates, but he has been knocking down three-point shots, and he leads the Gales with 16 points. And, you know, Iona's got so many weapons. If you're Fairfield, you're a very good defensive team, but it's really hard to keep up.
Well, and what you've got to do is you got to get the pace, and you can't give them the easy buckets in transition. Armand had a 3 in transition. A couple of times Machado was able to get his teammates easy shots at the rim. If they take care of their turnovers and get the pace back down, Fairfield's in decent shape.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with more of our halftime report from the Mass Mutual Center here in Springfield. Lots of good eats here. The winner moves on to the MAAC championship tomorrow.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying?
0!
How much Pepsi taste? Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
I am very much a mama's boy. I love her to death. And it was just, I mean, it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to miss home a little bit. My life's goal has always been to be a surgeon. I found out that Niagara has a great science department, so I was like, hey, I like this. I went a school that's a little bit more hands-on experience, one-on-one with the teachers, because I think you learn better that way. I do want to do research, especially on cancer. My mom had it, so, I mean, it's just something I'm definitely very passionate about. I only applied at Niagara because I knew this was the place I needed to go.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out, when someone gives blood and a life is saved, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies, and your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Visit redcross.org.
Your dream college should have it all, promising not just a degree, but an inspired direction for life's journey. An intimate college with a global alumni network, a residential campus experience, a subway ride from the capital of culture and opportunity, where you can pursue your dreams and change the world. Manhattan College has been delivering on this dream for over 150 years. Go to manhattan.edu and discover what a LaSallian Catholic college education can promise your future. Manhattan College, dreams delivered.
Back here in Springfield, Massachusetts, pleased to be joined by the mayor, Dominic Sarno. And welcome, Mr. Mayor.
Great to have you here.
Thank you for all of your hospitality. And I understand earlier today the bounce to the arena you were a part of. How did that go?
Commissioner Enzer and I and a lot of our local youth from Springfield, that went great. The weather was great. We came all the way from Basketball Hall of Fame up Union Street to Maine to the Mass Mutual Center. And last night, what a ball game with Manhattan and Siena, overtime game. And Mitch Bonacaro, they pulled it out. I want to thank the MAAC tournament and league. They were very generous in donating, I think, $25,000 toward our tornado recoveries. Big fan of the MAAC with some of your old-time ball players, Joey DeSantis from Fairfield, Lionel Simmons from the L Train from Loyola, and the LaSalle, And then, of course, you had Calvin Murphy, who's a Hall of Famer here from Niagara, Basketball Hall of Fame.
Now, what does it mean for the city of Springfield to have this 3-year contract, to have the MAAC, without a member school even in the state, come to your city?
Huge. Not only for great Division I basketball, March Madness right here in Springfield, but the economic development spin-off is tremendous with our hotels, our bars, our restaurants. And we're very happy to have this 3-year contract and working with the MAAC, and we look forward to continuing it. But it's been great basketball,
And how have you incorporated the Hall of Fame into what the MAAC is doing here?
Well, the Hall of Fame is the one and only basketball Hall of Fame in the world, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. And a lot of the events have spun off, whether for the teams, the visitors that have come here, and the fans, and also to the youth. And there's been a good component with youth development that also has gone on locally with the city of Springfield.
Mayor Sarno, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Go MAAC. March Madness right here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Thank you so much.
We'll be back with more of our halftime show here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Iona with a 2-point lead over Fairfield.
College isn't something to do just because you think you should. It's a journey of discovery. A balance of learning, doing, and practicing, inspired by strong values. College is your chance to translate ambition into opportunity. Begin your journey of discovery. St. Peter's College, spc.edu. Spring Open House Saturday, April 21st at 10 a.m.
The New Era Buffalo flagship store features exclusive, limited edition product that can't be found anywhere else. Choose from hundreds of cap styles, including the iconic 5950 fitted, 3930 stretch fit, and the newest 950 snapback. Add to the mix New Era apparel, and you have way more than a store that just sells caps. You have a destination for a complete look. Stop by and visit us at 160 Delaware Avenue for your Sabres gear and more. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Canisius College is committed to academic and athletic excellence. The Jesuit tradition prepares students for a lifetime of service. From the classroom to hands-on experience, Canisius students are ready to succeed. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
Welcome to the edge. For the glory of the Division I MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. Action guaranteed to have you on the edge of your seat.
All the way with the slam dunk.
The way to the NCAA. The MAAC Championship. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center. Grab your tickets at Ticketmaster.com, MAACachusets.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office.
Back in Springfield, Mass, after a very cleanly played first half, Iona turned the ball over only twice in the first 20 minutes and enjoyed a 2-point lead. Here's where we stand with the semifinal round leading up to tomorrow night's 7 o'clock championship, with the winner ultimately advancing on to the NCAA tournament. These Iona Gales won the quarterfinal over Marist 87-63 yesterday, while Fairfield got by Ryder to get to this point. Our next semifinal coming up, scheduled for a 4:30 tip between the Siena Saints and the Loyola Greyhounds. Well, next year, the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships will return here to the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield from March 7th through the 11th. Log on to Massachusetts.com for more information. The Gales are back on the floor, and here come the Stags. We're getting closer to the start of the second half. Iona, the regular season champs, enjoying a 2-point lead. welcome back to the MAAC Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. We are at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts with our halftime score 42-40 Iona. The Gales had only 8 rebounds as a team in that first half because nobody was missing any shots.
They didn't have a whole lot of opportunities on missed shots. Both teams shooting lights out, especially from beyond the three-point line.
Let's take a look at the highlights, and that will illustrate exactly what we're talking about.
Well, you're certainly going to get a lot of threes out of this. Iona 6 of 8 from beyond the three-point line, led by their player of the year, Scott Machado, a perfect 4 for 4 from beyond the three-point line. For those guys who worry about his ability to knock down threes, he was able to prove that as well, getting by people into the lane, finishing, and doing what he does best, getting other guys like Mike Glover involved, who came out with terrific energy at the start of that first half. As we talked about, though, the guy that maybe didn't have in the scouting report stepping up to have this type of first half, Colin Nickerson. He hit that first 3 in the corner, Doug. All of a sudden, his eyes got wide. Stepping in, he had great confidence. His teammates had confidence in him as well, getting him a number of good shot opportunities. They've got to find other guys, like the big guy, Ryan Olander, to help carry the scoring load, along with not only Nickerson, but as well Rakim Sanders.
And our Geico first half stats show you just how well both sides have been shooting. 62% for Fairfield, 59% for Iona. They've been doing it from inside, they've been doing it from outside. Only 2 turnovers for Iona, and with all those good numbers, they still only lead by 2. Let's take a look at our Blue Rock Energy one-on-one update. And Mr. Kennedy, what do you see here?
Well, the initial energy from Mike Glover was neutralized a little bit by the size of Fairfield inside. Glover just 4 of 9 in the paint. Rakim Sanders had really good energy as well. He was able to maneuver inside, knock down the 1-3 to get guys out, but he really got a lot done in the paint, especially when they inverted and took Olander, their center, out to the perimeter. That gave Sanders plenty of space to work inside.
Lots of folks have made the trip to root for the Iona Gales as they expect to move on to the NCAA tournament. If they can win 2 more games, that'll happen. Lamont Jones inbounds to Scott Machado. Starting with Taj Ridley, Sean Armand, and Mike Glover for the regular season champs. Machado guarded by Nickerson. Ridley is fouled and will shoot a pair of free throws.
So the defense, though, of Nickerson to stay on the floor, staying right with Scott Machado.
Nickerson and Wade starting the second half in the backcourt for Fairfield with Barrow, Olander, and Sanders up front with Todd Ridley, the 6'7" junior from the Bronx, hitting his first free throw. He spent his freshman year at Barton Community College in Kansas, then sat a year with an injury. Spent his sophomore year at Lawson State Community College in Alabama, and then finally found his way to New Rochelle to start his Division I career, which he did with a bang down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He was outstanding against Purdue. He had a double-double. Against Western Michigan, he had 13 points, 9 rebounds. He's not been able to sustain that type of production, but he's still kind of an X-Factor type of guy for this Iona club. Here's Barrow. Gets it back from Olander for 2.
That's one of the things that Tim Cluse was talking about earlier today, the terrific interior passing of the Fairfield Stags. You saw it on that play.
Ridley left his feet and very nearly turned it over. Glover spins right around Olander.
And the quick spin to get by Olander, that's how you neutralize his size.
Glover into double figures now with 10. He is the lead scorer on the season for Iona at 18.5 per game. Nice try to get it to Nickerson, but Armand tapped it away. Machado. Jones couldn't get a good angle. Desmond Wade, well under control, knocking down the shot.
Yeah, under control, knocking down his first field goal of the ball game, but he had an effective first half, 5 assists and just that 1 turnover. That's his first turnover of the tournament.
Two minutes into the second half, Machado, the lead scorer in the game, picks up another assist on the Ridley layup.
Well, that's where the defensive help can't rotate up against Machado. I think when you give help to him, it just plays into what makes Iona so good. I'd force Scout Machado to go finish at the rim as opposed to bringing the defender up and allowing a guy the wide open layup, because he's going to put it right in his hands.
Sanders, nice use of the window.
He just bowls his way to carve out that space inside.
The senior from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, now with 13 points. His season average is nearly 17. He and Colin Nickerson now both with 13 to lead the Stags. There goes Glover again. The foul is called against Olander. Well, you talked about the look and the manner of Mike Glover yesterday. Seems to be more the same here this afternoon.
Yeah, focused right from the start of this ballgame. And he did it in all 3 games in last year's MAAC tournament when he averaged a double-double, 22 points and 10 rebounds. Remember, yesterday had a huge second half, was 8 of 10 from the field in that second half, part of his 29-point performance against Marist. And each of the couple of possessions in the half court, his teammates made sure that Glover got a touch of the basketball.
His nickname is Optimus Prime for some of his athletic prowess, although he doesn't play above the rim nearly as much this year, seemingly, as he did last year.
There he is now at the point of their half-court pressure defense. Flatten out the 1-through-1 again with Glover at the top of it. Bad pass once again by Olander.
Look at the hustle. Nickerson was the last to touch as Ridley went all out to make sure they kept the basketball.
Oh, good hustle by the Gales. Fairfield with the changing defense. You just got to settle down. That's another place where you miss Derek Needham, who's the leader, and just take things over. I'm not sure who Olander was trying to throw the basketball to there.
Machado glances over to his old high school coach, now his college coach, Tim Cluse. And they start the offense. 50-46, Iona with a lead in the ball. Ridley, the extra pass to Glover, and he was fouled. I like the extra interior passing, but I was thinking we might be up against a 3-second violation.
You don't get those anymore. They don't exist in college basketball. Machado, 2 feet on the floor, ball fake, never leaves his feet to make a pass, although Ridley left his feet to make a pass.
Third foul on Maurice Barrow. First player with 3 fouls in the ball game this afternoon. You see Ricardo Ratliff has been setting the pace, the Missouri big, the only Missouri big. And Glover hasn't been too far off the pace. Well, it's been all Glover and Ridley for Iona here in the second half. They've combined for the Gales 10 points since the break. The lead is stretched back out to 6. Matthews back into the game for the Stags. He's got the basketball now. They dare him to shoot it. And he says, how about that? Timeout Fairfield. We'll step away from the Mass Mutual Center. Iona holding on to a 4-point lead in the MAAC semifinals.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Dunkin' Iced.
Biggest iced coffee I can get.
Iced coffee helps me keep up. I love iced coffee.
Drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'.
Dunkin'
iced coffee.
I run on Dunkin' Iced Coffee.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying?
0!
How much Pepsi taste? Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Dunkin'. Coffee. Black, straight up.
Extra cream, 3 sugars.
French vanilla. Iced coffee for me.
Iced coffee with a turbo shot.
I'm drinking Dunkin'. I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin' coffee.
The Gales of Iona with a 4-point lead over the Stags of Fairfield. MAAC fans, VIP and club seats are on sale for the 2012 MAAC Basketball Championships. Individual session seats begin at $50 for women's games. Got the championship at noon tomorrow. And $75 for men's games. Got the men's championship tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. For more information, visit Massachusetts.com or Ticketmaster.com. And Rob Kennedy, turns out that when in the first half, Fairfield was shooting 62%, while Iona was shooting 59%. They were just warming up. In the second half, they are a combined 12 for 12 from the floor and from the line.
And sometimes you say, oh, there's no defense being played. I don't think it's been so much a case of no defense. Both these offenses have really been clicking.
No surprise when Scott Machado's on the floor, and he's got Colin Nickerson right there, who is arguably the best perimeter defender in the league, trying to stay with him, and Machado's still able to do his thing. Machado 16 points, 6 assists. And the Gales continue to keep the pressure on. Scott Machado was featured last week in Sports Illustrated. We'll take a look at his performance here today when we come back.
The New Era Buffalo flagship store features exclusive, limited edition product that can't be found anywhere else. Choose from hundreds of cap styles, including the iconic 5950 fitted, 3930 stretch fit, and the newest 950 snapback. Add to the mix New Era apparel, and you have way more than a store that just sells caps. You have a destination for a complete look. Stop by and visit us at 160 Delaware Avenue for your Sabres gear and more. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference has provided thrills and excitement to college basketball fans for over 30 years. Now you can get an inside look at the league schools and its student athletes by visiting the MAAC Experience at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Check out the MAAC's rich history and be sure to take in the featured video, A Day in the Life of a MAAC Student Athlete. Don't miss the MAAC Experience at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For more information, visit hoophall.com.
Welcome back to Springfield, Massachusetts. Iona with a 4-point lead. Scott Machado, the conference player of the year, 16 points, 6 assists so far today.
He leads the country in assists, and he's always got his head on a swivel, trying to figure out who's open, getting other guys involved. One of the NBA scouts made a great point. He usually puts it in a position where all you got to do is catch and shoot, like he does right here. Stepping right in. Most of the work is done when you're catching the basketball, because Machado just puts it where all you got to do is catch and finish.
And he's from a very athletic family. His dad, in the top right corner of your screen there, was a professional soccer player back in Brazil. He actually was a teammate of the great Pele. His name is Luis. And then Scott's younger brother, who is Luis Jr., goes by the name of Junior. There he is. He is the head of the Scott Machado fan club, and it's online, and he has been retweeted by Dwayne Wade. He's been retweeted by other NBA players like Chris Paul. And Scott Machado is certainly, thanks to his family support, being lifted, and he has become part of the college basketball lexicon as one of the great players this year.
Well, certainly putting up those eye-popping numbers, and he goes back to this summer and his time with the Brazilian national team along with Fab Melo. Both those guys really benefited from that international experience.
Well, MAAC fans use the hashtag MAACHoops when tweeting about your MAAC basketball team. Hashtag MAACHoops is the best way to get all the information about the basketball happenings around the league.
And who knows, maybe D-Wade will retweet whatever you put out there.
You never know. Well, it is amazing how quickly it all evolved for Machado on a national level. You know, as I mentioned, Iona started the season in the 5-Hour Energy Puerto Rico tip-off with dozens of NBA scouts there, and he performed so well that almost overnight he became a national player. Here's Rakim Sanders. 10 on the shot clock. Matthews wants to give it up, and he does. Desmond Wade, no. Rakim Sanders. But he can't finish. Ball kept alive still, and there's Machado. One of the better rebounding point guards that you'll find coming back the other way. Well, what did you see defensively for Iona that time as they try to make it tough for Fairfield?
Well, just hold their ground inside, even after Rakim Sanders came up with the offensive rebound inside, just rolling up, getting your hands up, and making it tough to score.
Making it tough on Mike Glover. The great double team by Matthews. They tied him up. Well, since the 14 for 14 start, Rob, I see that now we've had 3 straight misses. So coming back to earth a little bit.
And same thing at this end, what we were talking about. Just wall up, hold your ground, get your hands up, force somebody to score over top of you. Too many times defenders help the offensive player by bailing them out, by leaving their feet, slapping, reaching down. Sometimes you just got to force guys to make shots over top of you.
Nickerson catch and shoot. Another offensive rebound. Olander pulls it back out, and Fairfield down by 6 gets another opportunity at the bucket. This is Sanders, and he swishes it for 2.
A deep 2, foot on the line.
First team all-conference player now with 15 points and another jump ball. Second straight time it's been Matthews tying up Iona.
Well, Matthews is one of their energy guys off the bench who gives them good solid defense. We've seen it back-to-back possessions from Matthews.
Randy DeZouvre in. Taj Ridley takes a seat. Meanwhile, Sidney Johnson having a discussion with 2 of the officials. He's not happy with Gene Steratore or Joe DeMea. Now the possession arrow switches back over to Fairfield. Off the held ball, Iona got to keep possession. Randy DeZouvre just off the bench. Misses badly. Nickerson picks up the loose ball.
Sanders trying to post Glover inside. Every time he catches it, though, you see the second white jersey come on over. They've been consistent with their double teams on the catch in the post.
Glover with the takeaway. He runs the break. Armand was floating to the three-point line rather than going to the bucket, so it kind of slowed things down. But Machado just keeps probing.
Now that is a pretty play. Show the basketball. You hit 4 threes in the first half. They got to respect it. His brother likes it. Rest of the fan club does as well.
18 points now for the senior from Queens. Played his final year of high school basketball at St. Benedict's Prep in New Jersey. Nice look from Wade to Matthews.
Well, first time in a while that Fairfield's had an easy basket. Wade's the guy that makes it easy.
Matthews is averaging only 2.5 points per game. He's up to 9 already in this one. And now Machado smartly will bring it back out with 20 on the shot clock.
Jones nearly got away with the push-off to get himself the basketball.
10 to shoot. Here's Machado. Gotta hurry now. Armand puts it up. It rims off, comes down to Sanders and the Stags. Des Wade, the University of Houston transfer. At the point, off to Nickerson. Traveling violation against Sanders. Barrow replaces Sanders. Nickerson goes out with Jamel Fields coming back in for the Stags. Well, these Iona Gales, as you see the scoring for Fairfield. Iona won its 7th MAAC regular season title this year. The first time they've done that since way back in 2001. Wade whistled for the foul, trying to keep Jones from coming to the basketball. And that takes us to our under 12 media timeout. Wade states his case, but to no avail. 56-52 Iona.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying? 0! How much Pepsi taste? Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
You can't predict the future, but with the right education, you can be prepared. When you evolve as a person, develop mind, body, and spirit, adopt new perspectives, and adapt to your surroundings, strong truths will follow. Truths that will guide you for the rest of your life. Loyola University, Maryland. Strong truths, well lived.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out. When someone gives blood and a life is saved. That moment when heartbreak turns to hope. You're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies. And your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Visit redcross.org.
Welcome back to the Mass Mutual Center. I'm here with Coach Klaus from Iona. Coach, heck of a basketball game.
Yeah, both teams are making a lot of plays. Very tough physical game. It's going to go down to the wire.
What do you look for the last 12 minutes from your team? What would you like to see happen?
Defensively, we're just giving them too many easy opportunities around the paint. We're losing guys like crazy. We're not communicating on D, and we're getting lost, and that's costing us. And boxing out against their size. If we don't do a better job, we're in trouble.
Thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way. Back to you, Doug and Rob.
Thank you, Joe Boylan. Thank you, Coach Kluse, for your time here in the second half. MAAC fans, make sure to head to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame to see the MAAC exhibit. MAAC Experience displays all 10 MAAC institutions and highlights all of their basketball performances over the years. Along with Joe Boylan and Rob Kennedy, I'm Doug Sherman. So glad you could join us for our first men's semifinal here at the MAAC tournament in Springfield, Mass. And the Fairfield Stags hanging with the regular season champs from Iona.
Well, certainly that's a key for Fairfield. You got to be able to hang around as long as possible. Anytime you're going to pull an upset, you've got to make sure you can extend the game. Fairfield's been able to do that. One of the keys, Doug, is they've not allowed Iona to go on one of those extended runs that you usually see from the Gales.
18 points, 6 assists for Scott Machado.
Foul on Des Wade, and that's his second foul in just a matter. No, take that back. It's against Momo Jones.
Remember I said a few minutes ago he got away with the push to clear off the defender to get the basketball. That time he didn't get away with the off arm.
That's the first team foul here in the second half against Iona. And against Mr. Jones, that's his first. And what has been a very cleanly played ball game. Matthews with another layup.
But when the double comes post to post, that's when you need that terrific interior passing. Nice job by Barrows to put it right on the money.
Yeah, he's into double figures now. 11 points for the sophomore from Sebastian, Florida. Glover trying to go around the big fella again, and he ran into an armpit. And we'll head to the free throw line.
Well, that's where Olander's got to move his feet, get in better position before he walls up. If you stand up too soon, now it's just that much easier for Glover to go right around you. Glover's putting pressure on their defense. One of the reasons why already 16 fouls against Fairfield. See the difference, 6-1, but it's because Glover has been attacking the rim, putting pressure. He's picked up at least 3 of those fouls against Fairfield here in this second half.
Barrow is the only one with 3 fouls individually. And you see Jamel Fields going out and Kim Sanders back in. But Wade, Sanders, and Olander, as well as Fields, each have 2 personals for Fairfield. A couple of foul shots for the 6'7" senior out of American Christian Academy, in Pennsylvania.
That is high school basketball with Tariq Evans, now in the NBA.
Sacramento Kings star. Glover holding his ground again, giving up several inches to Olander. Jones fouled by Sanders, who does not like the call. And so that is number 3 on the former Boston College Eagle.
Solid defense by Iona. Like Glover, not known to challenge shots. Not only does he challenge it, but he comes up with the rebound and clears space.
Iona has yet to block a shot in this game. That's really not part of their defensive strategy. And as much as anything, a lot of times you get the sense that Iona's not so much trying to stop you on defense. They're just looking to get the ball back. And that, if that means you score quickly and we get back and score on you even quicker, that's okay. They don't want to play 35 seconds of defense every time they're at that end of the floor.
No, through the regular season, but I think here tonight they've been a little bit more committed to defending.
Right on cue, the takeaway, and Machado. Ridley tracks down the long rebound, took a shove from Barrow, no call, and then had to give it away. Foul on Machado, and he doesn't like it. Mock applause from the Fairfield fans, who know as well as we do, looking up at the scoreboard, only 2 now team fouls against Iona. Fields back in. Barrow takes a seat. Fields hits the 3, another offensive option for Fairfield that you really don't expect.
And on the pin down, good screen to get him an open look.
The sophomore from Albany Academy has been a good offensive weapon here in the tournament. 9 points in the win yesterday over Ryder. 5 off the bench so far here this afternoon.
And another guy taking advantage of the extra minutes with Needham being out.
And there is Fields with the rebound. Sanders. Lots of white shirts around him, but it just doesn't matter.
He's just so strong. Able to fight through not only 4 hands there, but maybe some contact as well.
Ridley thought about it. He's only made a couple of three-pointers this year. Here goes Ridley. Like a bull in a china shop. Went right through the chest of Olander and picks up the foul.
And you and I talked about it with Olander's defense. He'll go challenge and block shots over 2 a game. Top 10 in the MAAC, but also give up his body well outside the arc. That's a good call and an easy one. As you said, bull in the china closet, just putting his head down, and Ridley clearly is the guy that initiated the contact.
And so with his third personal foul, the young man who played at JFK High School in New York City takes a seat. Des Wade, Linden, New Jersey native at the point for Fairfield.
With Iona back to the zone defense, remember the high post. Fairfield's been able to find guys like Barrow in there and get good shots.
There goes Sanders again, blocked by Glover. First block shot of the afternoon for the Gales. Machado, head up, got the ball caught on his hip though, and he traveled.
He doesn't turn it over very often. Yesterday's game, 8 assists, just 1 turnover, but you're right, it just got caught on his hip.
And so Fairfield, having scored the last 5 points, with a chance to take the lead. Matthews. What a weapon.
Well, other guys stepping up, sharing the basketball and sharing the scoring well. And that gets the Fairfield faithful on their feet. Talked about the fact you want to pull an upset, you got to hang around. When you're without one of your stars, other guys are going to have opportunities and need to take full advantage of it. Matthews, their energy guy, not known for his offense, averaging under 3 points per game, but a lot of confidence stepping right into that. Look at the reaction of the bench as he scores it. They're fired up. They know they've got themselves a ball game coming down the stretch.
And so the Stags have their first lead since the first half on the 7-0 run. This Fairfield team comes in with 18 wins on the year, 13 losses. They have had their 6th straight year of being 500 or better in MAAC play during the regular year. First 5 years of that was under the direction of Ed Cooley, now the head coach in Providence. And Sidney Johnson has continued that rise here this season. MAAC.TV is the official broadband network of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. The portal includes live content from Canisius, Iona, Manhattan, Marist, Ryder, and St. Peter's, plus MAAC championship events like this one. Visit MAAC.TV/register to sign up now. Machado, Jones, Kyle Smythe, and Sean Armand, along with Mike Glover inside for Iona.
They go 4 out, 1 in, trying to isolate Glover in the low block. Good defense by Matthews to take it away.
Machado going against the smaller defender Wade. Glover. And he will go back to the foul line.
Well, Glover couldn't get it on the post up, so he goes and gets himself an opportunity on the offensive board.
Derek Needham can't do anything about it. He's got the broken foot, watching his team lead by 1. part of Championship Week. We are here in Springfield, Massachusetts. The MAAC semifinals, game number 1 of the day. Fairfield with a 1-point lead over Iona. The Stags on a mini run here to take the lead for the first time in the second half against Tim Kluse's Iona Gales. Iona last year in Kluse's first year won 25 games. They've won 25 so far this season and trying to build on that here this weekend.
They got themselves to the championship game of the MAAC tournament last year. They were upset by St. Peter's in that championship game, and they also advanced on to another postseason championship game in the CIT. So his team has done very well, not only throughout the regular season, but as well in the postseason, includes his 2 years.
And he has said that he really likes the publicity that his team has generated, not only in the New York metropolitan area, but nationally. Not so much for him or for the program or for recruiting, but for these kids individually. And he has an interesting take on it, Coach Kluse does, saying he tells these kids that every time we're on television or you're in front of a reporter, you're basically interviewing for a job down the road. You're not going to be a basketball player your whole life. You can take advantage of your opportunity to become a known quantity in a good way, so that when you go and need to get a real job someday, this might help you.
Remember, he's got a little bit of a different background than a lot of guys you see coaching at this level. Long-time successful high school coach, then left the high school ranks to junior college Division II level. He has really worked his way to this opportunity, and he's taken full advantage of it.
Maurice Barrow now with 6 points. Fairfield back on top, 63-61. Sean Armand off the bounce, left it well short.
And as the game goes on, this is where, as a prohibitive favorite coming into the tournament, a team like Iona, you try to make sure that you don't get tight. You just got to keep playing.
The Stags have scored 9 of the last 10 points in the game. Des Wade. And a chance for 3 for Sanders.
When he's had room to maneuver inside, Doug, he's taken full advantage of it. Talk about clearing space, just knocking guys out. Look at that upper body strength. When he catches the ball, whether it's on a post up inside or off an offense or rebound, he's just too powerful when he's that close to the rim.
He got his Fairfield career off to a big start back in November when he made the Old Spice Classic All-Tournament team. Foul on Machado.
Well, he had a piece of Fields as Fields was aggressive going after the offensive glass, and Fields did a good job of making sure the officials knew about it by flopping a bit. Hey, every once in a while you got to sell him.
Junior Machado, the younger brother up in the stands, didn't like the call either. That is the second personal on Scott Machado. Ball loose. Timeout Fairfield to keep possession.
They would have kept it either way as the possession arrow favors Fairfield. But smart play. They tried to post up inside the barrel off the baseline out of bounds. He went after it with one hand as opposed to going after it and making the catch with 2 hands. But alert play to keep the possession with the timeout.
See Tim Kluse trying to get his club revved back up as we take a look at our Pepsi Max slam of the game. Randy DeZouvre off the feed from Lamont Momo Jones.
But it's been a while since we've seen the Gales running. A couple of turnovers in that first half allowed them to get out and run, but it's been a while since they've been in transition. One of the reasons why the Stags have been able to fight their way back in and now have the 4-point lead.
And while Iona has cooled off from the floor here in the second half, Fairfield continues to light it up at 64% for the game. Under 7 minutes now. The winner goes on to the MAAC Finals. Desmond Wade missed the 3 and a rebounding foul. Jermel Jenkins is the guilty party. Fouls evening out just a bit. That's the 6th team foul against Iona and the 2nd against Jenkins. Sanders shoots over Machado.
Well, 3 for $1. They got 3 offensive opportunities because of working the offensive boards. That time they cashed in. Sanders with the 15-footer.
21 points now for Sanders.
Here's where Glover's got to get a touch.
Iona stuck 6. This is the largest lead of the game for Fairfield, and indeed, Rob Kennedy called it right. They went right into Glover.
Well, you see him demanding the basketball. When he shapes up like that in the low post, you got to reward him. Isolation, good bounce pass on the feed inside from Jenkins. 3 different red jerseys come over to challenge it, but Glover would not be denied.
So Glover will shoot 2. He is 7 of 10 from the foul line so far today. Just about a season average of 67%. Rod Ridley will come back in, replacing Jermel Jenkins. Ridley's been on the bench with 3 fouls. Matthews, with his season high, gets a nice round of applause. He's been a big part of that 13-1 Fairfield run. Matthews has 13 points on the afternoon. 0 for 2 from the stripe for Glover, and the Gales perhaps fighting it just a bit right now.
As you said, as this game shrinks, you want to make sure that you don't get tight.
Sanders posting Smythe.
Look at that catch. Ooh, that was a tremendous catch. Just couldn't finish it off.
Glover, a man possessed and called for steps.
That time trying to do too much out in the open floor. Comes around. Well, he just awkwardly drugged that back foot. Didn't look good. That's where he got the whistle.
Yeah, live I didn't think so. On the replay I think he did. Sanders for 3.
Well, we said if they were going to pull the upset, Sanders was going to have to step up big. He's stepping up huge here in the second half.
Iona has gone stone cold, and it continues with another turnover.
Well, right now they are out of sorts. Tim Cluse going to have to call a timeout. Settlers group down. Remind them how they got to this position, how they won 25 games. And they got to just make sure that they don't start playing tight.
Fairfield is on a 19-1 run. And how about the field goal attempts in the second half? 22-10.
Well, Iona's gotten to the foul line, but as well, it's the extra opportunities off the offensive glass for Fairfield. That was one of the things that Tim talked about coming in. His keys, he said, one thing we got to do is we got to make sure that we can beat on the backboards. They got out rebounded soundly in the first half, and it's continued, especially here late. And Sidney Johnson's team, led by Sanders inside, has gotten extra opportunities with the work on the boards.
Attention and their regular season success. If they don't win the tournament tomorrow night, Iona almost assuredly won't be going to the NCAA tournament, and that's the pressure they are dealing with right now.
You never want to put yourself in that position. They've got a terrific resume. Their RPI is good enough that at least they'll be in the conversation, but if you were to exit in the semifinals here, certainly not going to want to put yourself in that situation.
Based on all the bubble talk by Joe Lunardi, they aren't even in the discussion in terms of next 4 in. I mean, they've got work to do. I'd like to say if they drop it here in the semis to Fairfield, they'll be on their way to the NIT as regular season champs. DeZouvre tries to find Glover, but there's another pesky Fairfield stag. And not surprisingly, it's Jamel Fields who winds up on his back.
Great hustle, loose ball, everybody hustling their way. And he went down hard and remains down.
He's a young man who grew up under some tough circumstances in Albany, wound up during his high school days living with his teammates' family. Tyler Foster's family calls him his brother.
Mark Ayotte, the longtime Fairfield trainer, over to attend to him. Mark as well, former Iona trainer.
Obviously working on that right shoulder. So Colin Nickerson will check into the ball game at the point where we resume play. This is a Fairfield team already missing its starting point guard Derek Needham because of a broken foot, and now they may be losing one of their key reserve guards, Jamel Fields.
As we said, Fields with a good game in the quarterfinals with 9 points against Ryder, and a good game in the regular season finale. Gave him good energy down in Lawrenceville, and as well as been a contributor here tonight. With already a shortened bench, you don't want to lose anybody. You see, obviously in pain, and they continue to work on that right shoulder.
Keep an eye on the right shoulder of Jamel Fields.
Look at the hustle. He and Glover, everybody going after the ball, and he goes down awkwardly, and then his arms almost above his head as he's going down. Hopefully he's all right as he heads to the locker room.
Just under 5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Iona's got to regroup because Fairfield has sprinted right past them. Olander called for the foul on the post, and Glover will head back to the line. There's the MAAC Coach of the Year, Jimmy Patsos, awaiting his turn to take the floor. Quite literally, he doesn't stay on the bench, he takes the floor.
Just call McCabe's line waiting off of the in the hallway.
He and his Loyola Greyhounds will take on Siena. About 25 minutes after the conclusion of this one. That was the 10th team foul on Fairfield, so Glover shooting 2.
And look on a made foul shot for Tim Cluse's team to get up in the full court pressure, see if they can't create some pace as well as some opportunities to get in transition. But if you don't make the foul shot, it's more difficult to get up in the press.
Here comes Machado. And it's a 10-second violation.
Well, despite not making the foul shot, they still stayed with the full court pressure, and it paid dividends.
Jones into Machado, out there with Dezuvre, Armand, and Glover. Try to go into Glover again. And his pass is taken away.
I'm not sure what he saw there. I think he thought Momo Jones was coming to the post. Got to make sure he's there. Both teams careless with the basketball.
Machado to Jones. How about the body control?
And went right at the bigger defender in Olander. Put him in jail by coming right to his chest.
A dozen points for the Arizona transfer. And another near takeaway, but the foul goes against Momo Jones.
And you and I talked about it. The last time Des Wade played in a conference tournament, he had 19 assists to just 1 turnover. Well, here's another turnover tonight, and it turns into a quick score at the other end. Feet ahead, as always, from Machado. And as you said, the good body control by Momo Jones to go right at the defender.
Momo listed at 6 feet tall. He's able to finish in traffic, big and strong, and has a knack, as you say, to put the defender in jail. Wade's a 73% foul shooter, gets his first. He was fouled by Sean Armand, is who they say it went against. Iona down by 8. 4 minutes left in regulation. Jones trying to take over.
And he's just driving by whoever's guarding him. Up in the full court pressure. That's where Rakim Sanders got to move along the baseline on the made basket. Now he's got to stay still, harder to inbound the basketball.
A step away with Iona down to Fairfield by 6.
Welcome to the end. For the glory of the Division I MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. Action guaranteed to have you on the edge of your seat.
All the way with the slam dunk.
The way to the NCAA, the MAAC Championship. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center. Grab your tickets at Ticketmaster.com, MAACachusets.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office.
How did I get here? Dumb luck? Or good decisions? Ones I've made, ones we've all made. About marriage, children, money, about tomorrow. Here's to good decisions.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. Mass Mutual is owned by our policyholders, so they matter most to us. Mass Mutual. We'll help you get there.
That's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Are you telling me we can't do this?
I got this, Coach. You know, people said, Pepsi Max? You can't get maximum Pepsi taste with 0 calories.
Who said that?
But Pepsi Max didn't listen.
We just delivered it. So get out there and taste that sweet 0-calorie victory.
The little guy's right. Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
You validate parking?
The Pepsi Max National MAAC Game of the Week is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Blue Rock Energy. Blue Rock Energy saves you money on electricity and natural gas. Blue Rock Energy, putting people in power. The American Red Cross, encouraging you to do something that means something. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. And by Dunkin' Donuts. What are you drinking? America runs on Dunkin'. Fairfield on top of Iona, the regular season champion, 72-66, final 3:44 of regulation. Sidney Johnson's club looking for the upset that will catapult them into tomorrow night's MAAC championship game.
And they use Rakim Sanders to help break the pressure.
Randy DeZouvre called for the foul.
So Sanders used to help. That's a good call right there. That's a takedown. You don't blow the whistle on that. You got problems. Was the defender? Yeah, took him out, tripping, sent him to the penalty box. We're in a hockey arena here, right?
We are.
Came right across, and Tim Cluse didn't like it. Still arguing the call, but that one wasn't even close. You can argue calls, but not that one.
That was the 8th team foul against Iona. And Randy DeZouvre is called for his second personal.
And the stat to keep in mind, Doug, as we come down the stretch, Fairfield just 66% as a team from the foul line. Sanders, you see, at 64%. They missed a couple of big foul shots late that would have sealed the game and taken away some of the drama in their quarterfinal win against Ryder.
With that free throw, Sanders has tied his career high of 25, which he scored against Providence back in November. There's a new career high of 26.
It's a pretty good time to have a career high.
Yep. And this is a guy who averaged double figures 3 straight years in the ACC while with Boston College. He has continued that success in his 1 year at Fairfield.
And it seems like an eternity since Iona's been able to get anything on the perimeter. They get off to such a great start from beyond the three-point line. Since then, everything's been inside.
And Glover gets back to the free throw line, where now he needs to start making his foul shots again.
After going 6 of 8 from behind the three-point line in the first half, Iona's been held without a three-point field goal here in the second.
Well, for what was a very aesthetically pleasing first half, 42-40 at the breakup by Iona, it has been just the opposite here in the second half, much more of a slugfest.
Well, certainly the first half was the pace that Tim Plouffe liked to see. But here in the second half, it's been more to the liking of where Fairfield wants this game to be. It's been stoppages, not as many runouts, etc. Oh.
Sanders fell and was called for the travel, and he comes up. Looks like he's holding an ankle or a knee. Something's not right physically with the senior from Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
An unforced turnover. You clear it right there. You got yourself a 7-point lead. Just came down and there he is. He just stepped on Machado's foot and slightly turned his ankle.
Sanders stays in the game and comes up with the steal. All of a sudden, the ankle doesn't hurt so much. And there is the big fella. He can't get the layup, but he will go to the free throw line.
Another offensive rebounding opportunity for Sanders, though. Out on the break. Great strip. How about the hand strength of Sanders to just rip this away? Able to dive right in. Nickerson thought he was going to have a good finish. Challenged defensively, but there's the strength of Rakim Sanders, and that's been the big story here in this second half.
Foul called on Glover, and that's his first. Check that. The foul was on Machado, and that is his third, not on Glover.
Well, Fairfield's had a couple opportunities to stretch this out. They have not made a couple of plays here late.
Jones fouls Barrow.
And if you're Iona, you can't start panicking and giving up these fouls. Remember, they had a big foul discrepancy early in this half, but lately, after missing, just being a little too aggressive, you miss a shot, get back. There's plenty of time, 2:50 left. Got to get some stops. You see Momo Jones in a bit of pain as his leg got caught underneath him awkwardly. But the Zouvre attacking the rim. Coming down the stretch, I think you got to make sure that you get shots from your best players.
And in recent memory, as Barrow hits the first, Iona has only a couple of field goals. They're both from Momo Jones.
It's taken a while for them to get going. It really has become a grinder here late in this ballgame.
And Machado gets the offensive foul. And that is his fourth.
Well, they've lost their composure a little bit coming down the stretch. Again, I think Nickerson does a great job of selling this inside. Ball goes in. And the senior just a little bit. But no need for you to do that if you're Scott Machado. You're going to get yourself open. Don't allow the defender to act a bit and get the official to blow the whistle.
Nickerson, as we've talked about here this weekend, Rob, is relentless, and he is forever in your space.
Yep, and his size has bothered Scott Machado on the defensive end.
Matthews happy to take some time off the clock.
And force Glover to have to come out and guard him on the perimeter, take him away from the paint.
Matthews then misses, but there's Sanders, who's already got a double-double. That's his 11th rebound to go along with the career-high 26 points.
And again, with Glover out on the perimeter, he has basically the paint to himself. It's one of the things about this Iona team. They do not have a whole lot of size.
Except for that guy. Here comes Mike Glover. And he's tied up and will shoot 2 more free throws. It's for Kim Sanders, called on the foul.
Here comes a point center coming right at you, can handle the basketball. See the reach in by Sanders. His fourth. So he's going to have to go the last 2:02 without picking up another foul because he's way too important to this Fairfield team to be sitting down.
Glover only 9 of 16 from the line. Foul difficulties for Sanders. Machado goes out of the game, replaced by Jenkins. And Glover misses 2 more.
Well, you got to expect that must be a defensive-offensive substitution. Trying to protect Machado. Another turnover by Fairfield. Hey, Doug, I'll tell you one thing. They've left the door open. They've had an opportunity to put this game away. A couple of turnovers, missed layups right at the rim, missed foul shots. You got to be careful if you're the Stags. As we said, it was an offensive defense and substitution, so you get Machado right back into the ball game. Well, I'll tell you what. Oliver Techie right on it. I did not see him step on the line. And if he did, it may have been because he was helped out.
Machado blocked from behind. And Iona will keep possession. Nice defense by Matthews. Now Glover goes out.
And Iona's got to score quickly.
It's a 5-guard offense right now for the Gales. Jones drives on Nickerson and does score.
And with those guards, you can spread it out. Nobody's as good as taking his man off the bounce as Momo Jones. Most of their field goals in the second half, especially late, have come with Momo putting the ball to the floor and getting to the rim.
Really, I can't think of any other field goals lately. He's done it 3 times now. Other than that, it's been Glover going to the free throw line.
And certainly it hasn't been from the perimeter.
Well, the man who's been the biggest story, Rakim Sanders, a career-high 26 points.
And showing you why he was a first-team All-MAAC selection. And when his team needed him to take over the game, he's done that. He's done it with his upper body strength, taking guys inside into the paint, as well as stepping guys out to the perimeter. But it really is here inside that he is dominant. As we said, he may be a guard, call him a forward, call him whatever you want. But I'll tell you what, he is an absolute man inside the paint with that upper body strength fighting through any type of contact.
He is a baller, and he is our Pepsi Max player of the game. 26 points, the career high, 12 rebounds, and 11 of 17 from the floor. And it's been work on the offensive glass by Sanders and his teammates that has really led to their advantage at that offensive end of the floor.
And Doug, for a team that has been built and known for their offense all season long, it's their defense that's going to have to get them back into the ball game. Iona's got to force some turnovers with the pressure D. Now, smart play by Olander to get it back out. You got to take care of the basketball. Colin Nickerson, not a very good foul shooter on the season at just 54%.
They're the top 3-point shooters for this Iona team. And they've certainly got a lot of options.
Yep, but we've only seen 2 3-point field goal attempts here in this second half. They've missed both. Come down the stretch, down 7. You got to suspect that they may have to hit some of those threes if they're going to make a comeback.
Yeah, Machado had 4 early 3-pointers. And since then, we haven't seen much of anything from Iona beyond the line.
And the door continues to be left open. Iona's had their opportunities here, Doug. Fairfield could have closed this one out already if they didn't turn it over a couple of times and miss some foul shots coming down the stretch.
The junior from Waukegan, Illinois, gets the roll on the second. Nickerson now with 14 points.
And I think that hit every bit of the iron. I don't think there's a spot on the rim it didn't touch.
Sanders blocked the Armand 3. Now the Stags will try and play keep away. Matthews fouled, and if it's on Machado, that's his 5th. Nope, they call it on Jones. So Machado will stay in the ball game, and Momo Jones picks up his 3rd. There you see some of the Machado family and friends not believing what they are seeing.
And look at the effort by Rakim Sanders. He came to play today, coming out, challenging the shot. You know that Armand's the best 3-point shooter, not only for the Gales, but the best in the league. Another missed opportunity 15 feet away. Matthews again, just a 56% foul shooter. We haven't seen Sean Crawford, who's their best foul shooter, hasn't come in. Remember, he twisted his ankle late in the game, and I think obviously he must not have been good to go. Because if he was, you'd have him out on the floor here late because of his foul shooting.
1 out of 2 for Matthews, 1 off of his career high now with 14. Machado puts it up and in.
They used his body to create some space. Now they've got to use their defense to come up with the basketball.
And they force Sanders to call a timeout.
Well, Sanders on the inbound a couple of times, Doug, after scores, has just planted himself. On a made basket, you can run the baseline to help get your teammates open.
Now each team with only 1 timeout remaining here in regulation. Tim Cluse's regular season champs from Iona College. Down 7 with just about a minute to go. And here's the tournament resume. We're talking about their chances. If you're Iona, if you lose here today, you don't win the automatic bid, do you even have a shot at getting an at-large bid, Rob?
Well, you're into conversation because of your RPI that's at 39. This week's Bubble Watch again on ESPN.com talked about the Gales. You see the RPI is the best number besides the overall record with the 25 wins. Problem is, their best wins Nevada and St. Joe's, but they've got those losses against teams outside of the top 100 in the RPI, Manhattan, Siena, Hofstra, and this would be another one of those. Fairfield's RPI coming into today at 124. And they played a ton of games on the road, but they didn't have that signature win. They had that great effort against Purdue in the first round. You come up with that win, that's one of those that you can hang your hat on for a while. And then it got them another game in the second round as opposed to playing Western Michigan and then having a Maryland team that has become better as the season went on, but wasn't at full strength early.
Yep, that Robbie Hummel jump shot in the closing seconds for the Boilermakers, a big difference maker in that tournament resume if you're Iona. The Gales nearly knocked off the Boilers in Puerto Rico. Olander with the big finish.
And the feed from Barrow to find them. Now you got to get threes if you're the Gales.
Fairfield smartly just defending the three-point line. And there is Crawford in the ball game as Jones is injured on the play.
And Crawford also limping as they're going up. And that kind of afternoon for the Gales.
Fairfield is the number 4 seed, which was swept by Iona in the regular season, 71-62 and 77-72, both competitive games. But they were unable in the regular season to do what Sidney Johnson's club has been able to do here in the second half this afternoon.
That's the same script that we had in last year's MAAC tournament, where the number 4 seed, the St. Peter's Peacocks, ended up defeating and upsetting last year's regular season champion, Fairfield. They were the number 4 seed last year, were the Peacocks, and had been swept in the regular season by the Stags.
Shot clock is off. Machado uses the moving screen by Glover, just clearing space, but Fairfield's happy to give up the 2 there as opposed to a 3.
And lead at 9, you need a miracle to not pull this one out. And even though the careers of Scott Machado and Mike Glover and the other seniors on this team, Jermel Jenkins and Randy DeZouvre, will continue, because remember, one of the great things that the NIT did a couple of years ago is giving the automatic bid to the regular season champs throughout each of the conferences if you don't win your tournament. And think back to last year when Fairfield took advantage of that opportunity in the NIT, went on the road, had a good win out at Colorado State before losing in the second round at home to Kent State.
You see the face of Scott Machado, not happy on the outside of that Iona huddle. We saw a few minutes ago Jamel Fields, number 23 in red, suffer a right shoulder injury, or an apparent right shoulder injury on that play. And now you see he is back from the Fairfield locker room, heavily iced on that right shoulder.
That is one big apparatus he's got going there on his shoulder. And remember, they're without Needham. Clearly, you could see that Sean Crawford wasn't 100%. He didn't play even when he came in here at the end, back in on the floor right now to see if he can't get himself to the foul line since he's such a good foul shooter. But he's limping around a little bit.
We got a quick look, Rob, at Derek Needham. We talked about the starting point guard for Fairfield. So there are two guards that the Stags aren't going to have moving forward. And they just continue to get it done. They've got other options who have really stepped up.
One of the things that Sidney Johnson talked about earlier today was that he needed his big 3 or 4 to step up and play. And he said, if we're going to get there, it's got to be on the shoulders of Rakim Sanders. And those broad shoulders have certainly been up to the task today. Remember Sidney Johnson, longtime player in the Ivy League and coached at Princeton. They didn't have and still don't have a postseason tournament inside the Ivy League, but he did win a 1-game playoff last year against Harvard to get his Tigers into the NCAA tournament. And he will have, once again, another 1-game championship situation tomorrow night to see if he can get his new team into the NCAA tournament.
Classy move by his senior center. Ryan Olander could have dunked it again. Instead, he dribbled out to try and run off the clock. Fourth foul on Jones. Well, if this Iona team does not get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, it would wind up being, for this collection of players over the last couple of years, the great disappointment twice. As talented a group as you're going to see any decade in the MAAC, being unable to win a MAAC championship.
And in both situations, feeling like they were the better team when they lost the game in the MAAC tournament. They've had such a tremendous regular season, tying the school record with 15 MAAC wins, but when you get to the tournament, you throw all that out, everybody starts in the same spot. Oh no.
And a big round of applause for Rakim Sanders.
A nice job by Sidney Johnson to get him that recognition. Those guys butted heads early in the season, but they're on the same page now.
Fairfield upsets the regular season champs from Iona, and Sidney Johnson's club will move on to tomorrow's championship game.
See the disappointment on Scott Machado's face, one of the all-time great players in the history of this league, and that's what's always the hardest thing about tournament play. Somebody goes home, won't be the end of his career, he'll continue to play in the NIT, but he wanted it to be the NCAA.
Fairfield Stags pulled a big upset, so the 4th-seeded Stags have punched their ticket to tomorrow night's 7 o'clock championship game on ESPN2, where they will take on the winner of our next semifinal. Siena comes in as the ultimate underdog. Will try to take down the 2nd-seeded Loyola Greyhounds. And you can see that game as well right here on ESPN3. Scheduled to tip at 4:30. It'll likely go more at 4:40 or so. Fairfield shoots a season-high 60%. And they get the job done.
Led by Rakim Sanders, 11 for 17, really setting the pace.
Joe Boylan standing by with the victorious Fairfield Stags. Joe?
Well, Coach, what an unbelievable game. How was that game turned around? You're down by 6, and then all of a sudden they don't score a field goal for 6.5 minutes.
So you can't believe the things that coaches think about during the game. My son is named after Jalen Rose, but I like him to play like Scott Machado. He was unbelievable. Rakim knows he really controlled the game, and in the second half, somehow we were able to slow him down. He's a sensational player. Our guys made some plays, and somehow we outscored him.
How about this guy next to me?
Yeah, I mean, Rakim's been fantastic. He's really bought in. You know, it took us some time to blend the new pieces. I'm one of them. Dez is it. Rakim is. But somehow we're clicking at the right moment, and, you know, we'll take it. We've got a big game tomorrow that we've got to focus on.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Rakeem, that was quite a performance.
Thank you. It's my teammates. They trust and believe in me, my coaches, and everything happens off them. I just go out there and they give me the confidence, so I just try to play my game.
Well, how about your game? They made you the point guard at the end against the pressure. You like playing that position?
Whatever to get a win, whatever they believe I can do, I'll try to do it. My best.
Well, good luck tomorrow, and great job. Back to you, Rob and Doug.
Thank you, Joe. Congratulations to the Fairfield Stags. They survive in advance.
Well, we started the show by saying certainly Iona was the favorite, but that we thought that maybe Fairfield had the best personnel and style of play if they were going to pull the upset. We were right, because Fairfield was able to execute and make big plays and ride the broad shoulders of Rakim Sanders into the championship game.
Indeed, our Pepsi Max player of the game, 26 points, 12 rebounds. Rakim Sanders leads Fairfield to an 85-75 upset victory. Number 1 seed Iona is out of the MAAC tournament. Join us later today for our next MAAC Basketball Championship broadcast on ESPN3. Coming up next, our second semifinal featuring the number 2 seeds from Loyola taking on the 6th-seeded Siena Saints. For Ron Kennedy, Joe Boylan, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Springfield, Massachusetts. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.